Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Learning with Chrono. Today we will be covering the often misunderstood turtle. Now there are a lot of different types of turtles thanks to the extra peripherals add-on included in the Minecraft mod pack, but I am just going to be covering the basic turtle, the melee turtle, and the mining turtle. Those three turtles should give a basic understanding of how the turtles work and give a good foundation to build on top of if you would like to learn more. Now, a turtle can be placed pretty much just like any other block where you just right-click and it places the block. Now, the turtle will always be facing away from you when you place it, so that's something to keep in mind when you're doing programming with the turtle. Going forward will always go away from you initially. Now, just like any kind of computer inside of Computercraft, we just right-click on the turtle and we get the command prompt. Except we get an extra little bonus down here. We see our inventory that we have, and then we see this 4x4 area, that's the turtle's inventory. This is where the turtle will put things when it picks them up, or drop things from when you tell it to drop an item. Now, the command prompt works just like the Computercraft command prompt, where we can have access to our ls commands and our cd commands. We have access to all the same programs as we do in the regular Computercraft, except we have access to even more than we did. We can see that we have a turn command here. We have a go command here. Now what we can do with those is we turn right, and we can see that it turned itself right. We can turn right again, and now it's facing us. Now let's say if we want to go forward, we get out of fuel. And that brings up the one thing that's kind of relatively new to Computercraft. It's the turtles require fuel to run. Now they can pretty much run off of any kind of solid fuel. I usually use coal or charcoal, but I found that lava buckets or the IC2's lava cells work very well. Now all we have to do is put a piece of coal in the selected inventory slot. And you can tell which one's selected because it has the bold border. And then we just type in refuel. And it takes that coal, counts it as fuel, and returns our fuel level, which currently is 80. Now that means that we can move a total of 80 blocks before we run out of fuel again. So now if I type in go forward, we can see it's not doing anything because I'm actually in its way. There we go. Now it moved forward. And then we return. So now if I type in refuel again without anything in the selected inventory slot, we now have at a fuel level of 79. But if we make it turn, like turn right, if we do the refuel again, it's still 79. So the turtle takes fuel when it actually moves, but not when it turns. The same is said for if it attacks or if it mines something. The fuel is not taken. Now, what if you want it to do something that will take more than 80 moves to do? Well, in that case, it gets a little bit more complicated. You can do that through the Lua prompt. And as I showed in the Computercraft tutorial, you just type in Lua to get into the Lua prompt. And then from here, all you have to type in is the turtle's command to refuel itself. So, turtle.refuel, open parentheses, close parentheses. Now, if I just did this, it would take all of the fuel. But if I put a number in between the parentheses, like let's say 5, we can see we have 62 now. We have 57 now. So it took 5 coal, just like I told it to. And we could put any number between 1 and 64 in there. So of course, putting 64 in there is kind of pointless. You could just type it in without any number at all, and it will just take the entire stack. But if we look at the fuel level, which in the Lua prompt, the command is turtle.getFuelLevel, open parentheses, close parentheses. Now, to do this command, you have to have what's called camel case. The first letter of the command is lowercase. But for every following word, the first letter of the word is capitalized. So, get does not have a capital letter, but fuel and level do. That way, for coding reasons, you can keep track of where new words start. But if you type that in all lowercase, it will not work. So if we just type in get fuel level now, we see we're at 479. That means we can move 479 blocks before we run out of fuel. So let's see what happens if we just do this. Takes all our fuel, and then we get our fuel level of 5,039. And since we moved 1 block already, that means that 1 entire stack of coal will give us 5,040 moves before it runs out of fuel. Now this is a good way to build up enough fuel for it to run for extended periods of time without having to be refueled. And I will give a perfect example of why you'd want to do this later on in the episode when I'm covering the mining turtle. Now, a question you might have is, what happens if I pop the turtle right now? Well, let me get out of creative mode, just so we don't have to worry about this at all. Let's pop our turtle. We can see we have 2 turtles now. Let's put it down. Lua. Turtle.getFuelLevel 0. Okay, so let's see if it was the other one. Lua. Turtle.getFuelLevel 0. Now this isn't too terribly unexpected. It is mildly annoying, but it's not too terribly unexpected, because the computer has absolutely no way of distinguishing which turtle is which. To fix that problem, we exit out of the Lua prompt, which is exit and then open parentheses, close parentheses. Type in label, and then set, and then we can type in our turtle name. So let's just say Chrono. So now this computer, or turtle, is labeled Chrono. So if I pop the turtle, and if we look at it, we can see that it's now Chrono. And if I pop this turtle, which we did not label, we can see they no longer stack. You can see that it's just the turtle, and this one's a turtle Chrono. So if we set turtle Chrono down, we give it some coal. We go into our Lua and type in the turtle.refuel. Oop. And we type in the turtle.getFuelLevel. Boop. We got 5120. So it would appear that my math was wrong somewhere along the lines, where an entire stack of coal gives us 5120, not 5040 like I originally said. So now we have 5120 fuel. And if I pop this turtle, and then place it down again, now if this was like the last time, I would have 0 fuel. But if we go into our Lua prompt and type in the turtle.getFuelLevel command, we can see I still have 5120. So this is a very useful trick. Once you label your turtles, which I always recommend you do anyways, your turtles, your computers, all of them. Once you label your turtles, you can refuel them in one place, pick them up, take them somewhere else, and then use them with all that fuel. So if you want to refuel a lot, you can take your turtle to a local lava source and just fill buckets and then refuel with the buckets of lava. And then you can take your turtle with all its fuel to wherever you need it to go and do whatever you need it to do. So that's pretty much the basics of movement for a turtle. So let's cover the mining turtle. Now, the mining turtle is not much different from the regular turtle, except it has access to a pickaxe. And the mining turtle also has access to the excavate program. So if we give our little turtle a little bit of fuel, and let's let it use all the fuel just so we don't have to worry about it later. Okay, so now we have a lot of fuel. So if we exit out of here and type in excavate space and then however big of a hole we want to make. Now this is a square hole, so if I type in, say, 10 here, we excavate an area that's 10 by 10 blocks. So if I hit enter now, it goes off in its 10 by 10 square. So it'll go forward 10 blocks, turn around in the next row, come down, and as we can see, it's just going back and forth. And then once it gets to the end of its 10 by 10 area, it drops down and begins the process all over again. So it'll go this way 10 blocks, go up, go back 10 blocks, and so on and so forth, the whole way around until it gets to the end of that level, and then it will drop again. And this process will repeat the entire way until it cannot go any further, either due to lack of fuel or bedrock. Bedrock is the only block that a mining turtle cannot go through. Now, as I pointed out in the quarry tutorial, the quarry will stop when it comes into contact with lava. The turtle, however, will not. The turtle will just plow straight on through the lava. It doesn't care. It doesn't care about water. It doesn't care about lava. It doesn't care about mobs. And even, you'll notice, if I stand on one of these blocks that it's mining, it'll actually attack me. So the turtle won't even stop for mobs. It will attack the mobs. Doesn't do much damage because it's just a mining turtle. But it does its job and it does it well. Now, after a while, the turtle will come back up to where it began. Why does it do this? To drop off its inventory. So this is everything that it picked up while it was down there. And it got a pretty decent distance all on its own. Another reason it will return back to its start is if it runs out of fuel. The turtle will attempt to return to start if it starts getting low on fuel. So that way it's easier for you to refuel it. All you'd have to do is put fuel into the selected inventory slot and it will automatically suck it in and continue where it left off. Now, what can you do about it just spitting the items out onto the ground? Well, all you have to do is put a chest right there, right behind where the turtle was when it first started, and then it will automatically put items into the chest's inventory. Now, a turtle has another function that came pre-built into its system, the tunnel function. And to access that, you just type in tunnel. and then how long you want the tunnel to be. Let's say in this case 10, because that's the number we've been working on. Oh, and we see that we're out of fuel. So we just give it some fuel. And we can see that it automatically took all the fuel that it needs. And we can see what it's doing. It's going up and down. And once it starts digging in, we can see exactly why it's going up and down. And then it will create this 3x2 tunnel as deep as you preset it. Now, it's not going to be 10 deep because I started the tunnel, or started the turtle out here. So it's going to count these 3 blocks as part of the tunnel. So this will be 7 blocks deep. Now, the turtle in this case is not smart enough to return when it runs out of inventory space, or when it runs out of fuel, or even when it's done, unlike the excavate program where it's pretty insistent on returning to start when something goes wrong or the job completes. See, the tunnel is done now, and the turtle just kind of sits there. And we can look at it, and we see mine 42 items total, tunnel complete. Now, is there more that you can do with the mining turtle? Well, yeah, there's plenty more that you can do with the mining turtle, but you have to use the programming language, the Lua programming language, to teach it to do its thing. And you have to use what's called the Turtle API, and that's the special little functions that the turtle understands in the code itself. So, and I can show this by using the Lua here, and I'll show a few of them. Turtle.forward is making the turtle want to go forward, but it can't because it's out of fuel again. Turtle.refuel, which I showed earlier, refuels the turtle. Turtle.getFuelLevel, which I also showed earlier, will show us the fuel level. Now we can use the turtle.forward to make it move forward. As we see, it moved 1 block forward. Or turtle.back to make it move backwards. Turtle.turn left, turtle.turn right, that kind of thing. Turtle up, turtle down. Yeah. I will link to the Turtle API list in the description of this video. That way it's easier for you guys to see all of the different options that you can use. Now, the last turtle I want to show off is the melee turtle, or basically the turtle with a diamond sword. Now, how is this really any different than the mining turtle? Well, it isn't, except it can't dig. That's pretty much the only thing it can't do. But it can attack, and we can do that by going into the Lua prompt and typing in the turtle.attack code. Now, if we hit enter here, we get a false. And that's because it's smart enough to know that there's nothing in front of it to attack. But if we put something in front of it, like ourselves, for example, and then we type the turtle.attack again, we get hit, and it gives a true. Now, it will do that for any mob, so cows, chickens, skeletons, players, it will do that for. So that's a useful way to tell if there's something in front of it, because the turtle is not smart enough to detect mobs. It will detect if there is a block in front of it, so you could use the turtle.detect for if there's a block in front of it, for if it has to dig through said block, but it doesn't work for mobs, so there's no way to tell if there's a mob in front of it except to try to attack it. And if you get a true, it means there was and it attacked. If you get a false, that means there wasn't. Now, there is one thing I want to show off from the extra peripherals add-on for the Computer Craft, and that is the charging station. Basically what it does is it takes IC2 power and turns it into power that a turtle can use. And basically all it does is you plug the charging station into IC2 power. In this case, I'm just using an advanced solar panel. You can wire it up to wires or whatever. And then sit the turtle in front of this charging station, specifically the side of the charging station that has the dot in it. That's how we know which side you can charge from. Now, this turtle has been sitting in here for a little while, so if we go into our Lua command and we type in the turtle.getFuelLevel, remember, camel case, we can see that we're at 18,397 moves. I have not seen the upper end of this yet. I don't know if there is an upper end to how many moves the turtle can store. So this is also something else that you can set up and use. You can set up your charging station in an area with a chunk loader or world anchor. Let the turtle charge overnight, and as long as you've properly labeled it, then you can just pick it up and take the turtle off wherever you need to go the next day. So I hope that little video gave you a basic idea of how the turtles are used and how you can do basic programming of the turtle. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to leave them in the comments. And as always, I will say, keep playing the game and have fun. I know they are.